Are we opening up our podcast for cyber harassment?
Yes.
No.
Nerd On.
What is, everybody? Welcome to Nerd On.
Just look straight at Corey.
I'm going to do that again.
I appreciate it. No, leave it in. It's good. It's good. We started.
The podcast you didn't need, but you deserve, and where all levels of nerd are welcome.
So, welcome.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you for that, Josh. That made my night.
You are so very welcome.
I'm not alone anymore.
Yay!
You're talking about levels after grinding or before?
Yeah, levels after grinding.
Yeah.
I'm Josh.
Ollie.
Caitlin.
This is Tom,
Master Assassin. This is Corey.
also Master Assassin.
Well, that was actually my Wu-Tang name.
Was
You
it
guys
really?
rivals?
Master
What's
Assassin.
the situation here?
Oh, the Wu-Tang name generator?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember mine.
Mine was Deviant Mastermind.
That's good. We should all do that afterwards.
We will.
Yeah.
That's how Childish Gambino got his name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Interesting.
So, a little bit of business. This episode is brought to you in part
by our patrons
over
At Patreon.
God.
Yay!
We're a little loopy tonight, guys.
Hey.
Yeah,
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We are talking about something that I am so excited to talk about.
His pants got real tight.
Yeah.
I'm not
He has a
even
raging nerd on for this
raging
one, guys.
nerd on. We are talking about my very favorite video game. Can something be your very favorite? Or
Yes,
can it just be
I
your
mean,
favorite?
It can be
we
very
mentioned it in Video Games Are Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It absolutely.
Unless you're trying to
Yeah.
retcon our
You
history.
can Sith the shit out of this.
Yes. Black and White. This is my favorite video game.
I don't like
of
the way
all
you said
time.
black.
Just let him get it out.
Tom. Final Fantasy VII.
There it is.
FF7.
From Square Enix.
97?
Square Soft.
Oh, yeah, that's
PlayStation
right.
Square
Excuse me.
Soft. And then they became Square Enix.
Squeenix.
It was
Squeenix.
97.
97, I wanna say.
Okay.
I was looking at the history and I was reading this article that said it was announced in 96 and then released 97.
Yeah.
So
that
they've
makes
probably
sense.
been working on it for a long time.
Yeah,
And then
they were like,
It's not at that point there were 6 others that people
Yeah.
loved. So it was
so, and it's not like the Final Fantasy VII remake where they're like, hey, this is coming out. And then 5 years later, they're like, hey, this is coming out.
But
That's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other
but
thing.
probably.
to Ollie's point that he's made playing time to the show, games are a little bit simpler back in the day.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
still
they were.
cutting edge for the time of, but they
Yeah.
weren't having to do so much different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're operating systems,
Yeah.
basically.
They're massive. Like this, wasn't this like one of the first games that came in like multiple discs?
One
Yeah.
of, yeah.
Yes. There were like
Sure.
3 discs for sure.
Yeah. Which was so cool.
Mhm.
But let's
Well,
talk.
first-
Should we do spoilers?
Spoilers, because I'll
it's
be
over 20 years old.
I'll
now.
be honest,
But
and
still.
I'll
Yeah.
say I've never fully finished the game.
Okay.
I've had friends, I've watched them play.
Yeah.
I've watched the movie. I've played some of the prequels and one-offs, but I didn't finish them. So there are some things that I had to, kind of refer to. But then, some
Yeah.
people who are like, I don't want to be spoiled on.
Yeah,
it.
we'll do
That's
soft
fair.
spoiler warning because there are probably some people who were not born when this came out.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
But
Spoiler-
if you haven't played it, please do.
definitely
Pause-
check it out.
Pause this. Come back in
96
100
hours.
hours.
Yeah, I think it's
Don't
100
wait for
hours.
the
You can
don't wait for the
speedrun
remake.
it in like
You can speed run it.
8.
Not your first time.
Actually, the world record is like 6 hours.
Holy
What?
shit.
And the guy said that he had played it, like he said, hundreds and hundreds of times. So he knew exactly. You have to know where you're going to go. You have to know your strategy. But the thing that I would want to know is, was it a completion playthrough?
Definitely not.
Oh, no
Definitely
way.
not. It's just
No,
main
no
story.
way.
usually.
Main story.
Yeah.
It's got to be main story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you glitched it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so spoilers. Play it, but be warned. There are
So,
spoilers here.
Initial, we'll do our usual style initial reactions, or
If you had
since this
them.
is an older
Yeah.
one, how you kind of
Came into it.
came into it.
I can start that.
Yeah,
cool.
This is a game that I have only played through once with my older cousin.
Okay.
As I've mentioned before, I was not a PlayStation kid. I was a Nintendo straight into Xbox kind of thing. I had some friends with PlayStation. I've played a lot of the PlayStation games, especially a lot of PlayStation 2 games with my friends and stuff like that. But this is one of those ones where over the course of like a couple weekends when my mom would go to work and I'd be like dropped off to hang out with my cousin, we would play through it together, and we'd take turns in certain fights and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then it got to the point where like I wanted to control certain people, so when it was their turn during the fight, he'd hand the controller to me, and I,
Oh, that's
that
Oh,
kind of
wow.
thing.
That's awesome.
It was cool. It was a cool way to do it, and vice versa. Like he always wanted to be Cloud, so I was like, I got you.
Yeah.
But it's I definitely had to watch some videos and refresh it. But it's one of those games that I think was my introduction to RPGs, because I then played 8 on the PC.
Mm.
And 8 was the one that I played, the first Final Fantasy I played by myself.
The first
through the whole
nerdgasm.
thing. Yeah. But it was a great introduction to like turn-based. Like it's probably the reason I still love turn-based games more than most.
Wow.
I like Pokemon to me is a perfect game.
Versus like
Because that's the kind of strategy I love. Like I don't like real-time strategy as much. Like I love
StarCraft
Halo
or-
and stuff like that. But like there's something that's to me so addicting about turn-based RPGs, because you have that time to strategize and you have that time to think. And you're like, what abilities do I want? What weapons do I want? Like
You can plan your actions.
Yeah, you're utilizing that point of like you're trying to have foresight into what's going to happen 3 turns from now.
yeah. It uses a totally different side of my brain than Halo does. And I love it.
Yeah.
So that was my first
Foray.
time was playing it through with my older cousin. Shout out to Kevin.
Nice.
Go that way.
For me, oh man, we used to go over to my friend Nathan and Christina's.
Shout out to Nathan.
Shout out to Nathan and Christina. And Nathan was always the one that was playing Final Fantasy games. So, and we were at their house like every weekend. So I only got to see parts of Final Fantasy VII like on the weekends. And all I remember is like, oh man, Cloud's moody, and oh whoa, Sephiroth.
such sword.
Why do I
Yeah,
want to go to
such
Hot
sword.
Topic now?
You just came in
And-
during the dramatic cutscenes.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, Sephiroth's hot.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
I do sing that song a lot. Sephiroth.
yeah, that song is amazing.
Yeah.
He's left-handed.
I definitely just listen to that in my off time.
Yeah.
I don't even know the whole
One-winged
story.
angel?
Like I actually just watched an information-based video to follow the storyline because I know there's
It's very deep
Convoluted.
And complex.
And there's like Crisis Core that we talked about before we started recording. Then
Dirge.
there's Advent Children. Like
There's Dirge of Cerebus.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of
there's
shit.
so much stuff,
Well-
and it's really confusing.
I loved Advent Children. I think it was Advent Children.
It's Advent
or
Children,
it was
that's the-
Crisis Core that
pretty
shows you
one?
Sephiroth before, and he was like,
Oh, that's Crisis Core.
okay, yeah. And he was
He's,
like,
he's a stand-up guy.
yeah, he's like a really good guy, and you're like, but I'm supposed to fucking hate you.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
That's it.
God damn it.
I think to your point though, like it's very deep and convoluted, and you can speedrun it maybe in 6 hours, whatever.
Yeah. But you're not
There's
gonna
so
pick up
much
the-
there.
Oh,
You're not gonna pick
no.
up anything. Yeah, like you'll probably do like a 45 or 50 hour playthrough of that game, and even on the first time through, you won't pick up every little like story beat or backstory element.
Yeah.
There's a
And-
thing I learned about recently, and I had to look up the name because I learned about it yesterday when looking up information on this to like kind of refresh my memory.
Mhm.
There's an actual like Wikipedia page and subcategory within the culture called the compilation of Final Fantasy VII,
Oh yeah.
and it's like 6 or so different multimedia like movies, games, snippet. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy how much lore there is around this one game.
Yeah, because there's like, just for the game, they built in so many different layers of lore and story
Yeah.
Mhm.
that it's like, well, of course, now you have like infinite like source material.
Yeah.
But for me, I actually, same as Corey, I hadn't played an RPG up until that point.
Whoa.
And
So this is like right when it came out. I'm
yeah,
assuming.
this is like the year it came out. And my best friend, who you know, Dennis.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dennis.
Shout out to Dennis.
I was over at his house one time, and I think, and he was playing it, and I was just like amazed by like the music and the like the effects and things like that. Not even like even to me, like RPG wasn't even like a term. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is just how you play this game.
Yeah.
You know,
These are games.
it's just like I didn't even think of it as a genre. I was like, oh, this game plays like this because I was young, you know, whatever. And then I had a PlayStation when I got it, and I just fell in love with it. Like, I fell in love with like that game. Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy X was like the last one that I really dug on, like big time, and like
Yeah.
completed 100% or whatever.
Oh, so we're in the same boat there.
Yeah, like after that, I was kind of like, I felt. I played the online one. I don't know if you count that, like, because technically 11 or whatever.
Yeah.
But that, and I definitely sunk a lot of time into 11. But 7 is one of those special ones. And like 7, like I think I prefer 8 a little bit more. But 7 is definitely has a special place.
I know I've said it off Mike like 1,000 times, but Squall's jacket to this day, I want to find that somehow somewhere because I love it.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that cover and being like, that guy's fucking.
It was just a massive. It was an even bigger up.
Gunblade.
Gunblade.
Because
Yeah.
one thing we haven't touched on yet is how much of a leap FF7 was over 6.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just massive.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And 8 for me kind of like hit that pinnacle of being able to deliver like this massive epic like thing and show it in a really interesting way. Because
Yeah.
FF7's like graphic style is a little cartoony still.
Yeah.
You know, and which is fine. Like, you know, it's an amazing game. But yeah, like I love that game and I played through it multiple times.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it before because Josh is your game.
Yeah.
So I want to lead into you.
Tom wants his moment before it's gone.
Well, no. I think he should have his moment. So you get the fucking swine out of the way. For me, it's true. I'll say it.
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
You uncultured swine. Swine.
Wait, is this the first time?
No.
No,
Oh, okay.
he's very.
First
he'll admit
time,
it.
I feel like it's the first time that I've been around and Tom's been
Possibly,
the
yeah.
uncultured swine.
No, music box. Anyways,
Oh, okay.
go check out,
Yeah,
go pause this
that's right.
episode, listen to that episode. For me, I got it as a gift,
Ooh.
and I
good
didn't
gift.
even have a PlayStation. So I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
That's sad.
Okay, now it's kind of a bad gift.
I've had so many video games given to me, and I don't even have like the console to play with it.
Oh,
I had Half-Life 2,
that's
no PC.
so
Who are these people that are
sad.
giving you these gifts? Do you know them very well? Do they know you very well?
They were.
Or don't call them out. It doesn't matter.
I can't. I'm not gonna do that to them. Plus, it opens up some weird history. Anyways, but they were older than me, and they're like, "Hey, these are really great games. You should play." And I'm like, "Cool."
Good
And
intentions.
I got it, and I was like, "I can't play this game. Can I shove this into a GameCube? I can't." So because I have to
Just picture you trying,
disc.
being like,
Yeah.
maybe it'll work.
So I didn't really play it, or I heard of it. I didn't really care about it at all until Advent Children. Advent Children came out. I watched that movie.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, let me go find a way to fucking play this game.
Mhm.
And so they had it on Steam, and I played a little bit there.
Okay.
But most of my childhood was actually just like watching other people play it. So after Advent Children, you know, everyone's like, oh man, I just want to play it now. And then everyone would play it again. So it
Yep.
kind of had that resurgence for
Yeah.
it. And then everyone's like, when are they going to make a
I think
remake?
a little bit after that, they did like a port on PS4. They also ported it onto iPhone.
There's
Yeah.
PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like what was it?
PS3, I think, was the first
Mm.
port because PS2 could play PS1 games, so you didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
So by the
PS3.
time that I got exposed to it was the same time that Final Fantasy X2 came out with Yuna and Tifa,
yeah.
or Yuna
Or
and-
12 as it's.
No, it's X2.
Oh,
it's
is
a
it 10
sequel
too?
of 10,
This is so
and it was
confusing.
after Titus said whatever the hell
It's
happened.
Roman numeral
10,
X
10-2?
dash.
It's
and
literally
then
10-2.
Arabic 2.
10-2.
Yeah,
Um,
10-2.
which I loved. Anyways, but that I mean, and the cool thing is that after that fact, like I don't know what happened. Like obviously he was really important to like legacy fans,
Mhm.
but then there was a new wave of fans like me who were like, oh, I really fucking love Cloud. His character design. I watched a lot of Inuyasha, which is an anime, and it features a guy with a giant sword, and then all of a sudden Cloud has a giant sword. I was like, I fucking love Buster Swords now. So like that created an obsession for me because now like it's Soul Calibur. I play a guy, I fucking Nightmare who has
Nightmare.
a giant fucking
Do
sword.
you
So
like
everyone,
Berserk too?
huh? Yeah.
Of course you do.
So everyone with the giant sword, I'm like, that's my guy. And you know,
Makes no sense, but man, it's a cool sword.
but like going back into it, kind of like, you know, at an older age, like it's kind of like watching The Godfather in your 20s. You're like, oh shit, this is where everything came from.
Yeah.
Yep.
So seeing Final Fantasy, like, oh, this is where everything came from.
Mhm.
Where everyone wanted to have an emo, moody hero and like
Yeah.
a convoluted ass story, and there's like a sad ass death in the middle of the fucking game.
Yeah.
You know, like I was like, oh, fucking Final Fantasy VII made this shit. So like for me, it was a lot of discovery, and it was kind of like cool because I had to like become like a foreigner into something that was like older.
Yeah.
But you know, I ended up getting Crisis Core, playing it on PSP. I remember one thing was fucking doing squats as Zack. I was like, this is stupid. But playing the game and learning about Zack, I was like, oh, this is dope.
Yeah, learning about Zack, because like that I played more recently, obviously, and I really liked the fact that like I didn't know what it was when I bought it. I just saw Crisis Core and I was like, I know that sword. I'm getting this.
Yeah.
And then as I found out it was Zack and knowing the story and his relationship with Cloud and stuff like that, as I started playing, I was like, I'm already crying. I don't know what's happening, but I'm already
Because
crying.
it starts at the end.
Yeah.
This opening cinematic starts at the end when like Zack gives Cloud the sword.
Yeah.
But then I also saw like the short anime where it shows the moments leading up to Zack's death, and then Cloud using the Buster Sword to like impale Sephiroth. So I saw all that stuff. But I mean, like Kingdom Hearts, and then
Yeah.
seeing Final Fantasy
Yeah.
characters through there. So I was like, oh, fucking Cloud
That
has
was cool.
like a bandaged up sword, and he has one evil wing, and then Sephiroth has an angel wing. What the fuck is that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's so like, and that's the cool thing is like my experience with Final Fantasy VII has been like, this has affected so many other things. So it's like
Yeah.
definitely something that every gamer who loves games should just have knowledge of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But now, Josh, how did you walk up to this beautiful lady
Well,
or man?
Everyone,
what's
gather around.
Gather around, kids. No, I mean, I played all the other Final Fantasies, like they were on like Nintendo and
Final
Super
Fantasy's shit.
Nintendo.
Yeah,
Final Fantasies I love, but
I particularly
were
remember
kind of-
liking 3. I think.
yeah, they were always kind of fun. They were kind of Zelda-ish,
Mhm.
kind of, but with like that turn-based fighting style. But Final Fantasy VII is what really turned me into Final Fantasy. I mean, just really RPG games, because like same few years was like Legend of Dragoon and like
Oh shit.
Final Fantasy VIII started coming out. Like all these other games that were like that kind of style came out, and those were my fucking jam.
Oh,
Like if
yeah.
you looked at my game shelf, it was like all these games that had like 4 or 5 discs or whatever, like 3
Oh,
or 4.
yeah.
And so I love those games that took a long time. Like so for Final Fantasy VII, for me, it was introduced to me by my friend. Yes, my best friend growing up. His name was Josh.
Shout out to Josh.
Oh,
Josh.
shout out
Yeah,
to Josh.
we were Josh Squared.
Not you, Josh. But the other
Not
Josh.
me, Josh. The other Josh.
You don't do anything for us.
His family was like my family. Like I was always at their house, and we would do like Corey was saying, we'd take turns, play for a little bit. Okay, it's this boss. Okay, now it's your turn. And eventually that's what got me into PlayStation, and why I'm a PlayStation kid is because Final Fantasy VII came out. My friend showed it to me, and I told my parents I wanted a PlayStation so I could play Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
And I think my first game, my first playthrough was like 90 something hours. I didn't have
That's
a
a
lot of
few.
life.
That's okay, man. I just started
You
up
don't
my
have to-
Pokemon Red the other day, and it's at 210 hours.
Yeah.
You guys
So
don't
I-
want to know how many hours I logged into Final Fantasy
I
X.
do.
It's
I
about
do, though.
600.
Yeah.
Which one?
Final
about
Fantasy
right.
10.
Oh, okay. That's the
633,
Monster
10-1.
Something like that.
yeah 10. That's the love story.
10-1.
Yeah.
Yes,
10
10-1.
OG. So yeah, that game has been my jam forever. Like when eventually I got my PS2, you could of course play it on there. And then later on I was an adult and I was in college and I needed money, so I sold off my consoles. I know.
Kevin Smith move right there.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I didn't get my PS4 until like 2015. It was when Fallout 4 came out. I don't
Yeah.
remember. That was the first time that I had a console again after like several years. But anyway,
Feels
I
good,
kept
man.
Final Fantasy VII, the game, even though I had no use for it.
Sentimental.
It was sentimental to me, and I
Yeah.
kept it. I think eventually it got lost.
Josh, I can relate to you because like when I moved out of my folks' place, like I didn't take my original Xbox with me,
Yeah,
but for some reason I took Halo with me,
Yeah.
even though I
Oh.
didn't have my original Xbox. But just because like if I have all my games, it needs to be a part of it. Like I
Yeah.
understand that you kept it.
everybody's like, "Oh, Xbox One, Xbox Original."
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, shut up.
To that point, I don't want like a kind of a tangent. Same thing happened with me with Spider-Man 2, GameCube. My original disc broke, and then I already beat the game, but I
Yeah.
just still loved playing it.
Yeah.
I literally rebought the game full retail price because I just
That's
loved that
awesome.
game so
Whoa.
much.
Do
I've
you
done that
guys, Caitlin, Ollie, have any like emotional connection to even just a game that you just kept
Journey.
around?
I mean, I've kept
Journey.
I don't even have a console. Like right now, I have no I'm strictly PC.
Yeah.
I can't play the games that I have,
Okay.
but
But
I
you have
kept
'em
around.
'cause-
I have Journey, and
Because that means a lot.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I have most of the games that I've purchased.
Yeah.
There was a period of time where I like traded in a bunch of stuff, but
So many regrets with me doing that.
yeah, like just
All my
yeah.
GameCube games.
Right. Yeah. But nowadays, especially, like I just love collecting physical copies of things.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I still have my FF7. I still have my Legend of Dragoon.
Wow.
I still have my Chrono Cross.
Oh,
Nice.
Cross,
Oh my
there's
god!
another.
Someone borrowed my Legend of the Dragoon and never gave it back.
What?
I literally messaged
Who do we
them.
kill?
I
That's
message
sad.
them about it every 2 years, and they're like, Oh, I think I lost it. I'll just give you
You
$20
son
or
of a-
something.
Are we opening up our podcast for cyber harassment?
Yes.
No, no.
Because you
I'm
want,
not
we can
saying
have
his
all of our
name.
friends
I'm
from
not
the show.
actually like. I'm not mad at him. I've gotten
Oh,
past
it's a him.
it.
Everyone look for him.
Oh God.
It's a him. So there's only 49% of them in the world.
Anytime
49%.
Caitlin now goes, this is my friend, like Jake, I'll be like, Jake, do you have fucking Legend of Dragon? Do you have it?
No,
Give it
I'm
back.
pretty sure it's gone like forever, which is
Yeah.
fine. I'll just get it.
Give her $20.
It's
Give her
fine.
We'll just tell everyone to give you
Greatest hits
$20.
price.
Just give me $20. If you see me, give me $20.
This became a whole different thing.
Anyway, yeah, sorry.
Going
Back
back to
to Final Fantasy.
Part of the thing was that, and I kind of actually hold FF7 a little bit more responsible for this, and because like before FF7, I think the only games I had was like Tekken 2 and Gran Turismo,
Wow.
Oh,
and so I only bought games because Blockbuster was a thing. So I only bought games that I knew that I was going to invest a lot of time into, and that still holds true to today. Like I don't buy games that I'll be done within 10 hours or whatever.
And plus, we don't like Hollywood video. I'm kidding.
So that's part of
R.I.P.
it too, where like everything in my collection, I really care about.
Yeah. You don't buy it unless you care about it.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're a good person.
I'm the same way.
So yeah, I put a lot of hours in that game, and then later when it was ported on iPhone, I played it, and then recently I have been playing through it on our Twitch.
By the
Like,
time this episode comes out, he'll still be playing.
I probably will still be playing.
Probably.
It. I'm going for a
Indeed.
completion playthrough again.
Oh my
So-
God.
Yeah.
We'll be playing this forever.
Isn't that the one that they can't re-release on things because it's published by Sony?
I don't
I
know.
think it's what it is.
Oh, really?
So I was thinking it should come out on Switch.
All you audience members who are listening to this in
It
2024,
sounds strange.
Josh will still be playing.
Yeah, I will still be playing.
But a brief lead up into the history and synopses.
The synopsis is, see, here's the thing is like I have more experience with FF7. I don't have like Crisis Core. When Corey mentioned it, I was like, man, that sounds really familiar. I don't know why I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
So
Because it was PSP and they didn't, I don't think
Yeah.
they really promoted it as much
They
as like
didn't.
Final Fantasy. Like how long have we been hearing by the time this episode comes out, it still will not be out, Final Fantasy VII, the remake.
Oh no.
No.
No, not for years.
So, I mean, we've been hearing about it for like 5 years already though.
More than that, I
I
feel
think they
like.
just, as of the recording of this podcast,
Episode.
have just recently started production.
Great.
Yeah, great.
Well, they
I
scrapped
think they
the
released.
they scrapped the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
They at like E3 or something like that, they released this beautiful video of the city,
Yeah.
and then no one heard of it for another. Because I was living in New York at that time, and that was 10 years ago.
Jesus.
Oh geez.
So like, I feel like that's when that happened. Like
They did a tech demo at some point, and
Yeah.
then they
looked
actually announced
gorgeous.
it. That they had the whole like a year later, a couple years later, they actually had an announcement of like FF7 remake happening.
Yeah.
coming. it
Didn't
was
Square
supposed to come to
recently go,
Xbox.
Which also-
Oops.
Well, which was also when the director learned about the project
Oh,
was
shit.
the release of that trailer.
Oh shit!
Oh.
Tetsuya Nomura, Sir Tetsuya Nomura.
That's
that's-
awesome.
Is that when it got scrapped? Like
I don't
when
know. Is it fully scrapped? Is it gone?
I heard that it was complete, and this
they
is
started
all
from
just
the ground
hearsay.
up.
But I heard that it was completely scrapped and they were starting over.
At this point. It's
Oh,
in
I see what you're
consent.
saying. Just they just kind of like rebooted
it's
their development.
coming back, but yeah,
Yeah.
they
It's still
just,
it's still working.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's
Um,
like we've all been asking for, not to sidetrack from our synopsis or whatever, but
Or
we've
whatever.
been, but we've been all crying for remakes for such a long time that they're doing it, but they're, because of all this lore and stuff that we've been talking about, like they're trying to actually expand on it. So it's going to be a multi-title thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, well that's fine, but knowing your track record, how long did it take you to come out with Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
It
what's
took you 10 years.
You know what's funny? I will make this observation. For remakes for video games such as Final Fantasy VII,
Yeah.
we want that way more than any Hollywood remake.
Yeah.
That's so crazy to think
Oh
about.
my
That's
gosh.
like, we will give you all of the money
Yeah.
to remake Gauntlet, Dark Legacy,
Yeah.
to make Final Fantasy VII, but don't fucking remake Men in Black for no reason.
Well, yeah. Well, because it's not an interactive experience.
Well, but
right?
also it's like,
So like if you remake the game, it's the same characters. They look the same. They act the same. You're doing the same things.
but they look beautiful.
They look beautiful, right? If you're gonna remake Men in Black, it's not gonna be a more beautiful Will Smith. Do you know what I mean? Like there's
Well, the flip
Well,
side
if
of
it's,
that,
if it's Idris Elba, who knows? I don't know.
But like,
I
do you know
don't
what I mean?
know.
The
Yeah.
spark of it is always still gonna. The heart of that game, if it's a remake, should still be there. If you
We hope.
remake a movie with new actors, that's slim to none.
Yeah.
There's not Men in Black, but yeah, remake.
because I'm still a little skeptic about the remake, but
True.
Do you want to give the brief synopsis?
That's a different episode.
Josh?
Synopsis.
I think we could try to punch in as soon as we can. I mean, like we've
Brief
learned
synopsis.
we've learned from
I
our
mean-
Oh,
comic
I
book
know.
stuff that we should try to be brief.
Well,
That's a
I
lot.
mean, like we said, that it's very rich with like stuff that's also going
Layers.
on, like really simple. Like we start the game, we are Cloud through the whole thing, and he's a mercenary. He used to work for this big like
Shinra.
he was soldier, which is
Crisis
like the
Core.
highest, the highest of the highest of soldiers, and he's helping this group called Avalanche take down the evil Shinra company. And Shinra, basically, what they're doing is they're sucking out the life stream of the planet Gaia, in the form of Mako, which is its liquid version of the life stream or whatever. And
Will it blend?
and shit gets real. The adventure gets bigger. We start to find out that this person named Sephiroth is involved or is starting to pop up. Cloud's like, say what? I thought he was dead.
Record scratch.
Yeah. What? Wait, I'm sorry. What name? What kind of sword? I mean, a lot of times it happens to do with his sword, and it's like because he uses a very specific kind of sword,
It's like
and
a
it's his sword.
12-foot long katana.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
like it involves like an alien
Yeah.
that has crash landed.
Yeah. And we
And-
kind of learn that early on in the game. Genova is involved. It starts to become
It's
a
his
much bigger
mom.
thing. Yeah. it's just-
Sephiroth is like
Sephiroth.
he thinks that he can like that it's his destiny or whatever to
Well-
like take over
well,
the,
he
like,
had like,
take over the life stream and
He went
Yeah.
he went insane.
yeah,
yeah.
he essentially just went fucking insane.
Goes full cray.
Yeah. 50 Shades of Cray.
50
The
shades.
reason is he finds out that he is a Genova thing.
Yeah.
A
he has a
clone.
genetic. He has
Yeah.
a genetic.
There's multiple
whatever.
versions of him. And,
Which you end up finding out in Advent Children. You
Yeah.
see them.
yeah.
And
So
he
he's
wants-
kind of going throughout the country. Yes.
Dark materia.
So
Yeah,
that
Black
Isn't that-
Materia.
Black
Materia.
materia.
He wants
wants
to
to-
summon
Yeah.
meteor to essentially
damage the earth.
damage the earth so
So
the
he can
life
suck
stream
it.
is seeping out so he can
So he
take
can-
it all in and become a god, a golden god.
ultimate
And-
weapon.
Just your run of the mill
This is kind of
RPG
Aerith
stuff.
is trying to summon the holy to stop that.
Because she
Yes.
is the last of the ancients.
yes, the ancient ones. The
And
Cetra, I think?
meanwhile,
Central.
Shinra thinks she knows where the richest deposit or something is.
she knows
No.
where the
So
promised land is, and they want to get that so they can,
Right.
because they're an energy company,
Yeah.
and they want to. If
Get
you
the
have the
energy.
source, then you own it all. The
Yeah.
monopoly.
Fast tracking it.
Fast
Aer-
tracking.
Aerith dies.
Ares dies, which makes me so sad.
Because she's about to do her own thing. She's like, hey, I'm going to summon holy.
about
I'm
to
going to fix the
summon
whole
the thing.
thing.
Yeah.
Sephiroth's like,
Thank you very much.
I said
Aerith.
Aerith.
Well, actually, what's so funny is the current version that I'm playing has an S at the end.
Yeah,
It says
it's
Ares.
the American version.
Yeah.
Localization. Localization.
Localized.
Localization.
The original that I played was Aerith,
Really?
which was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why there's
Um,
controversy about it.
Oh,
What?
That's why
I
there's
thought that was
whispering
just
over there.
Japanese.
controversy.
Say.
There's
I don't know.
controversy.
Because it's
Controversy.
spelled differently in different places. Like
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
different parts of the
Aerith
world.
in some
Yeah.
places, it's Aeris in others. So everyone's
Yeah.
like, it's Aeris. No, it's Aerith.
These are
So I
snubs.
just say it with a lisp, and then everyone's happy.
Yeah. It's like the word
Um,
spoon.
Yeah. Spoon.
And Cloud gets all pissy, tries to kill Sephiroth, doesn't do that, ends up getting mind blown because he finds out he's a clone.
Yeah, he
as well.
basically has a mental breakdown.
and then ends up.
There are two parts in the game that you can't button mash to get through.
Mhm.
It's when Cloud is telling everybody his backstory,
which is
when
falsified.
Sephiroth like just goes fucking insane.
Yeah.
And then the next one is when Cloud has his mental breakdown
and then
because
he,
he gets radiation sickness essentially.
It's the Mako
sickness.
Mako poisoning.
Mako
yeah,
poisoning.
Mako poisoning. I just
Because in Crisis Core, there's a character called Genesis Rhapsody,
okay.
and he's one of the first people infused with the Genova cells,
nice.
and he starts suffering from degradation. Or
Degradation.
thank you, because the infusion was imperfect.
Yeah.
And he kind of goes crazy, kind of like how Sephiroth does. And Sephiroth was his Genesis friend.
Yeah.
And so when in Crisis Core, when he dies, Sephiroth kind of is like, I need to pick up his mantle. Like he was totally right about everything, even though he was crazy. And all of his actions, Genesis was based off this poem called Loveless.
Mhm.
And he thought that him, Sephiroth, and their other person, angelic something, were these three characters of this epic poem. And he kind of went crazy and started getting that same kind of like poisoning and
Yeah.
and lost his mind a little bit. So I wonder if that's anyway. Continue.
Jaunty romp through losing your mind.
Whoa.
The gang that you meet, Tifa, Barrett, and Yuffie, and
Red
Sid,
13.
and Red 13 are all kidnapped by Shinra. They all break out. They find out Cloud is catatonic, and then they undergo fighting Sephiroth. And they go through multiple forms of Genova. Genova was once known as the Calamity that hit the blah, blah, blah. They hit the Gaia and started this whole bullshit.
And I learned through this playthrough, like the weapons, like the side, like one time you do fight a weapon as part of the story. but
What
then
is a
there's-
weapon?
Huh?
What is a weapon?
A weapon is like a
Giant.
it's a giant thing that the planet has created to protect it.
Oh, the mecha Pokemon?
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
That's a great way to put it.
Or Emerald Weapon and Ruby Weapon and
Those are side
Ultima
bosses.
Weapon.
Mecha Pokemon.
Mecha Pokemon. That's what we're gonna call them now. Yeah, I agree.
They were
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
meant to protect the Earth from any type of calamity, but
Yeah.
now they're actually just fucking shit up.
And so they get released
Mhm.
into the world.
Release the Kraken!
Released.
It's like releasing of the Titans.
Yeah. But yeah, eventually everybody finds out that the life stream or whatever is at this North Crater. Sephiroth has kind of locked himself in there.
Jesus Christ.
People at home, he does that even in real life.
I do.
If we say the name Sephiroth.
Could you imagine if like Sephiroth was like a real person and
Yeah.
every time he walked in a room that just comes up so he can never like sneak up on people? It's just very
This great
inconvenient.
choir, like
He's just, Sephiroth. He wakes up. It's like, okay, I'm done.
I get it.
My name is John. I'm a normal dude. I'm just done with this.
it just doesn't have a-
Jonathan.
So eventually you go, you trek down into basically the core of the planet and
Save the day.
get your ass beaten the first time.
Yeah.
Jonathan.
And then you have to go back out of the crater, go grind some levels, and then go back. Get
Old-fashioned
Omni-Slash,
roll-
The game just
Knights
goes,
of the Round, and
"Get
then
better."
go back.
Good old fashioned
You're
grinding.
not good enough.
This is one of those games that, for me, taught me grinding.
The importance of grinding.
Can I
The
say,
importance of
can I say
grinding
this
is
for some of like people who haven't played Final Fantasy VII?
Yes.
This part of Sephiroth and going back to grind
Jonathan.
is equivalent to going to the Elite Four, getting your ass handed to you, going back to the Victory Road, regrinding that out, and then going back to the Elite
Yeah.
Four.
It was really sad because you'd lose and you get that like sword with game over and you're like, I have to go all the way back? Or no, you just go, because I remember, because if you die, it just sends you back to the beginning. So
For those of
where
you who
we're-
haven't played Pokemon either, it'd be like going and taking a test, and then half the test is none of the materials were given, and they go study these materials, and you go, God damn it! And you
Yeah.
go back, study those materials, and then you can pass the
Yeah,
test.
exactly. So this game, there's ample material to work on that isn't just the main story, which I think is awesome. That I wish more games had that. It was
Was the casino called?
Golden.
Oh man,
What's so funny is that I worked at a casino called Golden Acorn, and so my brain went
Golden Acorn.
Golden.
It was Golden
Acorn.
something casino.
Golden Corral.
Golden Corral. No, but they have good pancakes. Oh,
Good.
Caesar's Palace.
But going back to like Josh's point, like, you know, there's casinos with all this stuff. There's so much lore into it. Kind of like what Ollie talks about a lot. His favorite thing about most media is that it feels like a world lived in.
Mhm.
And so
Universe.
You looking it up?
Golden Saucer.
Golden saucer.
Yeah.
That's
Technically,
fun.
It's just the gold saucer.
And then you raise your golden chocobo.
Chocobo.
yes.
oh
Yeah.
my god.
And then
always
Unleash
fun.
Hell. Once you get that, you go and you get Knights of the Round Table,
Mhm.
and you just unleash hell on everything.
Yep.
You get that to master, and you
It's
can.
so funny to someone who doesn't remember all the phrasing. You get your Chocobo and you get the Knights of the Round Table and you go fuck up everything is the best phrase I've ever heard. Just out of context, like what?
it's like, that sounds amazing.
Well, I mean, what I loved about this game is
You get
that
Arthur, you get Guinevere, you get Lancelot, and you just go.
it's
They have adultery. There's some fucking shit happens.
No.
Mordred
Final
happens?
Fantasy VII.
Merlin's there, he fixes everything. Yeah.
But yeah.
That was well done,
Yeah.
by the way. On
Yeah.
the
That was
synopsis.
You beat
really good.
Sephiroth.
I think it covered everything.
You beat Sephiroth. Advent Children starts. All the reunion bullshit happens.
Yeah.
Cloud's still emo. Guess what? He has a cool bike. He has all these different swords. Sephiroth comes back. You kill him.
'Cause
Done.
you do have memories of Zack in the game, right?
In Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah, right.
Well, there's a whole
yeah,
there's
there's
a whole
all-
sequence where you relive his like
Yeah.
memories,
Yeah.
and you see which is false, which one's real, and all that shit.
I remember I was like, why did I know him going into that game? And now I
Yeah.
But let's talk about why is it still popular? Why do we think it's still popular?
think it's it and I'll let obviously Joshua speak on this a little
I think
more.
this is a good thing for the whole group, of course.
In my the even my small amount of playing with it instilled this thing in me of like, this is how a great game can work, right? So it taught me about what the fuck turn-based RPGs are, and how great they can be. Like before that, every game that I had played was a Mario game, or like, you know what I mean? Like it was all real-time kind of stuff. James Bond, all that kind of stuff. NBA Streets. I had never played anything where I get to sit and you're like, you better think this out because you have limited resources for every fight, and you need to make sure you're strong enough, and you need to make sure you make the right choices. And I kind of equate it to like Halo. It was kind of a game changer. Like when that came out, people were like, oh shit. Like even yourself, you had played the other ones, but for you, there was this moment that was like, I didn't know they could do this. I didn't know that could be put together this well, and I didn't know
When
that.
I saw the first cutscene, I don't even remember what it was. I think it was just like it was just like a layout of the land or something in Midgar, and I was like,
Well,
It's the I'll say one last thing, and then it's the same reason. Like the first in Halo 1, the first moment is a cutscene. Like it's a couple minute long cutscene, and it gives you everything you need to know, sort of, but it allows you to like let you know that this is an already existing world. Did I take your thing?
No. What I was just saying is that I remember the way that the game starts.
Oh.
It's kind of on Ares, and she's like kind of praying almost.
Can
and it's
I
like this. Yes.
ask a question?
Mhm.
I mean, it kind of talks about how you were brought into RPGs, but for people who played Final Fantasy VI and the ones before it, what was the main difference between this and
It was
the
a
other
massive difference.
What was the
Graphical
difference?
upgrade was number
graphical.
one.
Yeah.
It was 3D.
Because you talk about legacy Final Fantasy,
Right.
everyone's going to talk about 7.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or you guys will talk about 8 specifically because those were the ones that you really kind of like gravitated to. But the world will talk about 7 for all end.
But again,
Yeah.
7 was what got me into 8 because
Right.
it's like
It wouldn't have been without that.
But it was like what drew people into
Well,
it? What was
it
the
was-
main
it
difference?
It was
was-
Sephiroth being shirtless.
Yeah. It was. It
He's
was,
not wearing hockey pads.
Yeah. I wait for it every episode.
He's not wearing anything.
he's not. He's got a cool jacket.
I think
Some
I think
pants.
But
a lot of
graphically-
it was graphically and just like the scope of it. Because
Yeah.
even though the other Final Fantasy games have a pretty deep scope, they're not realized as much as they are in Final Fantasy VII with like the cutscenes
And
and
how intertwined
full motion
everything is. Like
videos.
polished. Story.
and everything was like really well told story, like incredible music. So it was just one of those like
It was hard.
Well, I mean, like for me, I don't have like a background in the legacy games like
Yeah.
before Final Fantasy VII. I have like everything after like 8,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, for me, like all the stories kind of were influenced by that.
Well,
Or,
I mean,
like,
think
we're-
of it like Halo. What Halo did for FPS,
Mhm.
because you could argue that it changed a lot.
Right. Like,
Well-
okay, so like for me,
Like aiming.
Halo 3 is still my favorite Halo. Like how
aiming.
8 is still my favorite Final Fantasy. But without Halo 1, I would have never got to 3.
Well, I mean, like
It's-
I think the big thing with Halo was kind of like it was very smooth and like the ability to like change out weapons at the go.
well, it's also the lore.
Yeah.
Like the
But yeah, it's
which
like
is with
it's the
7,
combination
rich-
of like all of the right things put
at
together
the right time.
make this
Yeah.
like tentpole milestone of a
that
game.
no one had ever seen something like that.
Yeah.
It's like when Pokemon came out. Like that took the world by storm. Everyone was like, "What the
It was
fuck?"
kids, it was monsters, it was grinding.
Character design, like you don't even care about what these characters are or haven't played it. But if you see like if you're a little teenage boy and you see a Tifa action figure in the window, you'd be like, I'm kind of interested at
Yeah.
that thing.
Yeah.
Josh,
Systematically, it like Materia to this day, like that's what to me built strategy. Like
Materia was allowed.
Materia was like essentially
Mhm.
it was basically like Mako / live stream deposits if we're looking at the lore,
Mhm.
and they all have certain powers.
Mhm.
So like fire would
Yeah.
be one, and then
So you
You
add that
have
to a
weapons and
character.
armor.
yeah,
Your weapons and armor, like specifically, like, let's say your first weapon has no slots in it,
Mhm.
but then like your second weapon has like one slot, and then like later in the
which
game,
is a huge RPG
you
factor.
have
Yeah.
2 slots, and then you can put a piece of materia in each of these slots. So you could do
Yeah.
like
It's like enchanting a weapon.
you could do
And-
like fire, which lets you do like a fire spell, and then in the same weapon you could put an all materia,
Mhm.
which
it'll
let you
affect all
apply
the
fire on
enemies.
all your
Yeah.
enemies at once. So like things like that. There's like
It changed. It literally
interplay
changed
like
the
that.
gameplay.
And this
Yeah.
was not current in 6.
no,
No.
like 6. I mean,
Yeah, it's a huge.
I think
mechanic.
6 still had like learned abilities.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
things like
I mean,
that.
Gotcha,
the
gotcha.
6 and below had like kind of a 4-person party.
Mhm.
This one was 3.
Yeah.
And what was cool about having this party system even more is that you would, again, it was a lot of strategy.
You would level up
You had to
Aerith, and
figure
then she
out
would
roles.
die, and you'd be
Yeah.
pissed.
Ares would be like, for me, Ares would be my healer. I mean, to this day, my recent playthrough was the first time that I ever fully got Ares, like her final weapon, her final limit break. Like,
And even though you know what's going to happen.
even though you know it is going to happen, you have to plan you had to plan. You had to be like, okay, I'm going into this, there's this boss. I might get my ass handed to me, but then at least I can plan.
Hmm.
It doesn't like fire. Okay, I can do this. I can plan. All the accessories had different things that they did.
In
like,
Tom terms, it is what Final Fantasy VII is to the Final Fantasy franchise as Melee is to the Smash franchise. Does that make?
But no, I mean,
Did that help?
yeah, I mean, yeah. It's like Smash Bros was like, shotgun, boom, here you go, here you
I would
have it.
say-
Oh my god, it's great. But then Melee was like, oh shit, we can go competitive.
Yeah.
I would say it's what Mario 64 did
Yeah.
for
Okay.
Mario.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
I was
up
just trying to
until that
apply to
point,
his.
It was two-dimensional. It was still deep, like Mario World. Come on, it's like massive game. But Mario 64, whole new level.
because I mean, for me, the reason why I still hold it in my mind so much is like it's character.
Yeah.
To me, it's character and the character's lore, and so
Characters
that,
are great.
those are what I hold on to.
Yeah.
I mean, like you guys know me, I'm pretty like critical about everything.
Yeah.
And when we played our Halo stream, I was like, skip the cutscene, skip this cutscene. I don't give a shit. And so for me, it's like, well, at the time of the game, cutscenes were everything, right? Cinematic stuff for your characters was huge. I think in video games we can do things with it where you have interactive cutscenes and you can
Yeah.
play with it so that you feel you're more immersed into it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to
Oh,
that point,
Looking at you,
if,
Telltale.
if everybody, if a game does so many different aspects of it really well, then everybody can have their favorite aspect of it. And then
Mhm.
that just gives you a bigger audience and bigger player
It's a
base.
pool from.
And yeah.
Yeah,
What?
so it changed, and I think that from there, it kind of inspired all RPGs
Well-
moving forward. Like this is what we need to strive for, and I think it's a change in media industry. Period. It's like all these we have more capabilities, we can do these things. But I just think it really changed gaming. I mean, I think grinding was really, really.
Popular.
I think it was really introduced even more with
Oh,
this
okay.
because this game literally you can grind for hours.
It's a fun
And-
game to play.
Yeah, it's a fun game to play. Even grinding, like
Mhm.
to me, grinding on that game is pretty fun.
Because you
put-
can switch things up. It doesn't feel so repetitive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can
Well-
go to a different continent and
Completely
go,
change your loadout.
Yeah,
I think that's a big thing too. Is like party change out and then
Mhm.
changing up your
Yeah.
Yeah.
your
Different
your,
characters.
your loadouts, and so
different
that allows
weapons.
you to feel that your characters are actually growing with you.
That's
Yeah.
why I liked 10 a lot, is because you had your weapons one wasn't better than the other. It just did different things. So when you
Yeah.
switch weapons, like that's what kept it fresh and interesting for 10.
Yeah. So open it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Favorite parts.
It's been a while for me.
I think
Okay.
I think this kind of opens up even more. It's like favorite aspects as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like
Yeah.
kind of like not one specific arc or certain level or certain battle,
is-
but an aspect of it.
This is gonna, and sorry I keep taking charge on all these. I've been thinking a lot about this lately.
Mhm.
For me, it was the first time I had seen team building
Hmm.
in a game,
Yeah.
which again leads me back to like Pokemon and stuff like that, like games I still hold high today, and probably still paved the way for me to love customization in a game. Anytime a game has customization, it goes up like a full 5 points for me because I'm just like,
Yeah.
I put my own spin on it. I can play the game the way I want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, that
Tifa all
blew
day.
my mind. The fact
Yeah.
that I could be like, I don't want to play with this guy. I want him in my team. I want her in my team. This is how I want to play.
This character's useless. Cool.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
well, even beyond that, I mean, like, I think I was too young to know who was useless and who did what. I was
Kate
just
Sith.
like,
Sid.
what'd you say?
I said Kate Sith.
Oh, okay. You didn't say my, okay. I was like, oh my God, did he say my favorite one? But like, that was huge for me because I
Yeah.
had never, again, it was like Mario 64 and Pilot Wings and stuff like that. Stuff where like you pick a character at best, not a team. You don't get to customize your team, customize the weapons you're using, all that kind of stuff. Like the closest I got to that was 007 GoldenEye, like slappers only or Golden Gun, and I get to pick to be Odd Job because he's a piece of shit. Like that was the closest I got. So this to me, when my cousin was showing me this, I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
what about other people? And he was like, well, they play it how they want to play it. I was like, what? But how do the developers
Because
get
you
ready
can-
for that? Like they just do. Like
Yeah.
it's all built in.
You can build your characters in any way. Like you literally can have like a magic user, so to speak, that is just like they just have everything. You have somebody who's a healer. You can have somebody that all they do is that they steal things, they throw things.
And attribute like everything was amazing to me.
Yeah.
Like that to me, that was my thing that I held on to this day.
Yeah.
For me, I kind of think I like all the tropes about it. Kind of like it's not
Yeah.
a Japanese game unless you have amnesia. And
Yeah.
like, you know, like and that was the thing I also saw too, is like so many characters after that point had amnesia. Like you just couldn't be a main character unless you didn't know your past. And it was just like how superheroes, like you have to have your parents dead.
It's
like,
it features the number 1 out of the top 10 anime betrayals of all time.
and I mean, I kind of, the thing I really like most, I mean, again, my first real experience was Advent Children.
Yeah.
And knowing that there was such, I think I kind of coincide with Ollie. It's like knowing there was such huge lore to it, that this story like was spanning over a course of like, you know, decades and centuries of like what was happening with ancients and live stream and blah, blah, blah. I was like, holy shit, this is like a huge game. You know, you're playing like a slice of it during like a matter of weeks or months, whatever. But then throughout it, like there's this history that's been built into it. So it just feels that there was a huge like involvement to make this a big story. Whereas I feel like other games sometimes like they're just great gameplays, but then the story ends and the world ends. Whereas that's what really brings me into it, is like there's so much involved in it. It has all the cool things I think most RPGs have really embraced. But the thing I think to me what I like as favorite is how in depth all the characters can be put into with, you know, the lore.
Yeah.
And, you know, people can make short stories or films or anime series based on what's happened into it. You know, and the characters are compelling enough too.
Yeah.
Like they're just likable. Maybe they're not like super cool and like three-dimensional, but you just like the
You can
characters.
get into their
Mhm.
bio or whatever. Yeah. Caitlin?
I like the video game.
I like
No,
the
stop.
video. Well, it's one of those things where I was watching someone else play it.
Okay.
So honestly, the most that I've come across with Final Fantasy VII was through Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, okay.
So all I knew is that Sephiroth was a cool badass that had a really neat song.
Yeah.
I sang it.
Oh, damn it. I didn't get to hear it.
Jonathan.
Thank you. And that Cloud was very moody.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
everyone liked Tifa and Aerith.
Well, his best friend died.
Aerith
Aerith.
dive.
Earth dive.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that in a minute. But
Yeah, we'll get to that.
I don't really have a like.
A favorite part.
I
Or
do like
aspect of
when
it.
I do like when Cloud dresses up as a lady.
Yes.
and goes into the bar and like flirts with peeps.
Cross dressing.
Yeah, that was
what's for
enjoyable.
And it
to
could
me.
change like
Wouldn't be a
depending on what
Japanese game
items
if
you
there wasn't
got.
some cross dressing.
Yes. Mhm. But
Am I
yeah.
wrong?
Yeah, and then it could change every time too. It's like
Depending on the items that you got, like did you get a blonde wig? Did you get
Yeah.
a silk dress?
yeah,
Oh,
See,
It
that's more
changed
back
up.
to like the
yeah.
everyone's experience is a little different.
yeah.
I love that.
But yeah, I just thought that was funny. But
Ollie.
that's it.
Ollie,
For
Ollie,
me,
Austin
you guys both say the same thing.
Yep.
For me, it was like it was a smaller moment, and it was more of like a personal moment where I think is the first time I discovered Vincent, and that knowing that like
Vampire.
yeah, and knowing that like apparently you could just skip him, like you could just not get him as a
Lose- yeah.
character.
He was originally
But-
not supposed to be a playable character. That's why.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And they ended
But
up
then
throwing him in
learning
because
that,
he's
like,
badass as shit.
I just stumbled upon this character, and he plays such a huge, like he has such a rich backstory that's so deeply connected to.
They made
like,
a
the
game
main-
about him.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just like, holy crap! And
You're
I
like,
think
what
that's
is this side boss? What the fuck?
yeah.
What is in the base? What the? Did I just get another party member?
It's also,
Yeah.
also at first I feel like you're like, did I fuck myself?
Yes.
I was like, this game's amazing.
Yeah.
Like just having this random, like to me, seemingly random thing that I
Yeah.
was not expecting, and I think that was like a huge moment for me, being like, this is
It's like an intentional, like if you are willing to explore, you will be rewarded.
yeah.
Mm.
It's a Ready
big time.
Player One move.
One of the most annoying parts of the game actually is that fucking safe.
Yeah.
Because if you went too far, and it gave you like 29 seconds or something like that to
Mhm.
put in the 4-number combination.
Combination.
And if you went too far,
Oh,
you
you have to go.
basically you couldn't and like you had to be
You had no
very
way, yeah.
specific with
Very
your
careful.
controller.
Yeah.
Very
and,
careful.
and also timely. But anyway, yeah.
Oh,
That's a
but
good
I mean
moment.
that's like we all know the combination.
Yeah.
Not that combination.
Yeah.
L1, R1, L2, R2, start select.
Mm-hmm.
Resets the game.
Joshua.
So you go back to your load.
Joshy Josh.
Oh,
It just goes to the menu screen, so you can
okay.
load your save back.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Nintendo DS still has that.
Does it?
Yeah.
The same combination?
Well, they don't have two, but it's just both the
whatever's
L's
available.
start select.
Nice.
If I had to choose like a moment in the game, my favorite will always be, and this is like, I just fucking love it. It's when Sephiroth is in the flames.
Oh, right there.
In the flames.
With the head.
What the fuck?
With the head
Sounds like I'm
with the
less
head of
intimidated
Genova,
right
right?
now.
Yeah.
Sephiroth.
Jonathan.
This is like when he
He
finds
goes by
out
Jonathan.
he finds out everything and destroys everything, right?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
when he has his mental breakdown, and he kills everybody.
If
so
you look up Sephiroth, it's the first image you'll find.
oh yeah, I always thought that part was baller as shit
Yeah.
when I saw that. But the aspect of the game probably would be like, I mean, it's just such an in-depth system
Yeah.
in terms of customization, like just being able to just figure out what kind of materia to use and like what's the best, like, yeah,
He gets really involved.
yeah. Favorite characters?
We'll do favorite characters and then also favorite summon.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm only familiar with one, so
Okay.
favorite character is Cloud.
All day, all
obviously.
day?
Of course, it's
All
Cloud
day.
because he's fucking emo as shit, and I love emo people.
And his hair doesn't make
and
sense.
his long ass fucking sword, and he wears all black. He's got Fenrir all over him.
Yeah.
He's got a motorcycle, and he wears cool sunglasses, and he had a razor in the Advent Children movie, so
Yeah.
which is dope.
Nice.
And then favorite summon is the fucking Bahamut.
Muhammad. Oh.
Is that the dragon thing?
That's the giant fucking.
Yeah,
dragon.
that's same for
Yeah.
me then.
Yeah.
But there's 3 Bahamuts.
The red one.
Okay.
Neo.
Neo,
Neo,
I
I
think,
think.
yeah.
the one that was in Advent Children.
Okay.
Gangster as fuck.
We may have the same one. Vincent.
We might have the same one. It's Vincent.
He's so
Um,
fucking dope looking.
Yeah.
He's a vampire.
He's I remember that was the character that I had my cousin let me play. I was like, you can have Cloud all day. Just give me
Yeah.
play as Vincent all day, please. I thought he was so cool. I mean, first of all, he's all in red. My favorite
He's
color.
my favorite too.
Got a
Is
golden.
he?
Yeah.
Yay!
Got a golden hand.
He's so dope.
It's
Like
a
I
half vampire.
yeah.
Manpire.
Okay.
That dope gun was great.
Yeah.
I didn't play his game though.
I didn't
didn't
It
either.
was
it
it
was.
was like a Devil May Cry kind of
I
like
didn't play it either.
jump up and shoot things and stuff.
But yeah.
It was really weird.
He was my. I just remember when we found him, I was like, this is who I want to be forever. I want to be this person in real life.
Well, 'cause, like,
fake life.
Going back to my moment, like I felt like I found like a shiny Pokemon or something. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this is like a special character. I have to use him. You know, he's amazing.
Yeah. I-
He was always in
Yeah.
my party.
Yeah.
Always.
So and then yeah. Then I think the red one's called the Neo.
I think so.
The Neo.
And that I again red. I was young, and
Yeah.
I was like, it's red. And it's a dragon. That's me. It's
Yeah.
me. I'm that dragon.
Yeah.
So those are my two
It's
favorites.
Corey Butt.
My favorite, since I'll just go since it's the same thing.
yeah.
It's Vincent for the same reasons. And my favorite, I want to say it's Bahamut, which is interesting that a lot of us are Bahamut. But there's a moment in FF9 that I love with Alexander
Yeah.
that if you haven't seen that moment, I'll leave it to you.
Okay.
But when Alexander is revealed in FF9,
Yeah.
Okay.
perfect moment.
I'll look it up.
but yeah, Bahamut. Just regular ass Bahamut.
Okay.
Regular
Regular.
It's not
Regular
HBO.
ass Bahamut.
Are
It's
you
not
looking up,
HBO.
Tom?
It's regular ass Bahamut.
Yeah.
Do you know which
Regular
one's
Oh,
which?
so yeah,
I
the
choose
red one is Neo,
Is Neo. Okay.
and then the regular, or at least the one I liked in Final Fantasy Advent Children is Bahamut Sin.
I like his design most in, I think 9. It was the most like organic looking.
Yeah.
I think.
Kaylin.
Karen.
My favorite Sephiroth.
my favorite
Jonathan.
Sephiroth is shirtless Sephiroth.
Shirtless Sephiroth.
It is.
The way you said it, it just sounded like there's
I
multiple.
always like the bad guys when
That's
I was a
okay.
little kid.
okay.
Every time.
the
And
most
he was
badass.
like crazy and a bad guy.
Yeah.
But also he thought, I don't know, when they think they're right, that's what I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Oh, you're sweet.
you're so sweet. I don't
Yeah.
you're trying to kill everyone, but it's kind of cute.
Because you want to be a god. It's
you
cool.
want to be a god.
Perfectly balanced.
Yeah.
as it should be.
I don't feel so good.
No.
He thought he was right. Is all I'm saying.
You could have doubled the
No, I
resources.
didn't like Fantasy. But then,
I hope they remember you, Caitlin.
I almost can remember you.
Shout out to Thanos.
My favorite summon was Shiva.
Oh yeah.
Because she was a badass ice bitch, and
Yeah.
she could wear whatever she
Shiva
wanted
was a-
and ruin your life.
Yeah.
It was great.
Hardcore.
Shiva bad bitch.
Oh man.
He made a joke.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we're moving along.
Laugh track.
Judge what?
Oh, I mean, it's Vincent. I just there was
Damn.
something about getting Vincent, and to this day, like most of the time I won't change my characters' names, but if it doesn't matter, I will change my character's name to Vincent. Like that'll be my name.
I thought
of
you were
my
gonna say
character.
I would change.
Oh, like in
Vince-
other games?
Yeah, in other
Oh,
games,
wow.
like even like I forget what game recently I had to choose a game or a name. Vincent Valentine is
Yeah.
always
I thought you were gonna
It's a
say.
dope
the
name.
name.
I thought you were
That's
gonna say-
actually my family stage name is Valentine.
nice.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say I change Vincent's name to Josh all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
Joshua
him.
Valentine.
That's me.
That is me.
That's you with the red.
Bonnie, come look. Look what I'm doing.
See that potato looking thing?
Watch me summon a dragon.
I just
Are you proud of me?
She's like,
Get
I
the
love
dogs in here.
you.
Luna, look at me summon a Luna.
That's your dad.
no, I just loved it. And my favorite summon, only because I always just felt so accomplished when I got it, was Knights of the Round.
Mhm.
It takes a fuck ton of work to get that
Yeah.
goddamn summon. And when you see it for the first time, like when I first saw it, I was like,
This is what I've been working for.
I did it all. It was good.
Trying to remember what it looked
pearly
like. I'm looking
gates
it
are
up
here.
right now.
I mean,
Although I
it was
do wanna give
13
a-
attacks that if you were
Oh
right.
my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were all
Yeah.
9,999.
Yeah.
You would fuck some shit up.
I think my cousin tried to explain it to me and I didn't conceptualize
the
how
knights.
the work that
Yeah.
went through it. And I was like, great. That's
Wasn't
cool.
it like a multi-step? How did you get it again?
It was a chocobo
You need
kind
a
of
golden
thing.
chocobo, I think.
You needed a golden chocobo that could get to a certain island that is in the
Mhm.
top right corner. Spoiler. Walk through.
Actually, more like you're welcome.
You're welcome. Top right corner. This island that you can only get to with a golden chocobo because there's nowhere to land.
Oh.
Yeah.
Little
You go in
cavey
there
thing.
Mm.
and you get it.
Corey's showing
Looks
the
like
picture.
it looks like you shouldn't be able to get there because the map
Just
kind of
ends.
ends.
No, yeah,
Yeah, it
it's at
does.
the
End
very
of the
corner.
world.
And oh man, you just that and I'm
Yeah.
getting emotional.
I call them chocobos.
yeah, chocobos.
Or
Chocobo,
I- for-
Chocobo.
Till
Barry Corwin.
recently.
Tomato, Chiboko.
Bobby Corwin. Sorry.
Thank
Yeah.
golly.
Bobby Corwin. It's in Final Fantasy
I'll be Vincent.
6.
Yeah. I called them chocoboos for a long
Chocoboo.
time.
Chocoboo.
That's
Chocobo.
super cute.
Chocobo.
It sounds like a cereal.
Yeah.
Chocobo.
Chocolate chocoboos.
Can we make a nerd
Sugar-coated chocoboos.
Just Tom's gonna start saying Chocobo for days.
chocobabe?
Chocobo for
Part of this
days.
complete breakfast. That sounds like a good, like not a good, but a Sony
Yeah.
ad.
Sin-
Like they would do that.
Dare I say qualms?
Well,
Oh.
I don't.
I certainly have one.
oh wow.
Okay, let's go.
I have one. It's that I don't have any.
Wow.
I just I played it with my cousin. I had a great time from start to finish, and it was like a video game awakening for me. So
His pants got tighter.
yeah.
And
So this like stuck out to me so vividly that it was one of the only things I remembered from like the game aside from Cloud and Sephiroth was Aerith
You
and
can call her wherever you want.
You're
Right.
right.
whatever.
That's
You
correct.
can call her Bay.
And Red 13 being in Hojo's lab and he's like, you two gonna fuck and make a baby.
well, Hojo is insane.
But Red 13 is acting like
Mhm.
he's going to rape her
Yeah.
every moment until they show up. And it's like, you didn't need to do that. You didn't need to scare the crap out of her the whole time because they didn't know they were gonna. They didn't know they were gonna get rescued. So like, I don't know. I was just like, did you need to mess with her that hard?
I mean,
Like, I know you were acting, but couldn't you
and
have
Red
like,
13 kind of looks freaky.
It's
yeah,
not-
couldn't you have just taken a nap and been like, this is my animal way? Because he doesn't know you can talk yet.
it's not a old school.
Well, it's
Japanese.
more like I don't know this girl that well. Rape jokes, maybe, or maybe she won't take, take them so
But I
well.
mean, again,
I
also at
mean-
the time of early '90s Japanese stuff, there's a lot of rapey crap.
I
in it.
know. I
And
know.
so I'm just saying, it's just I think it's kind of
Was?
of its time. Well, I mean, like I've watched some Japanese shows where it's like rape is kind of like really used as a tool. It's not even like a crime, which is really weird.
Culture shock.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, comfortable.
anyways,
But not wrong.
I agree with that.
okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that's it was I guess it's more just that it stuck out so strongly. Less of like a
Just like that's weird.
that's weird. That's a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all that is.
Not cool, bro.
For
Not
me,
cool, Choco, bro.
a qualm for me would probably be that it's for better or for worse. It's pretty convoluted. There's a lot of shit
There
going
is.
on all the time.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, what the fuck is happening?
You have
Because
to
I
pay
mean, like
attention.
sometimes you could just just
Can't skip the cutscenes.
well, no, you
Tom.
could just cut. You could just like blindly like I don't care what you're saying. Go through. I'm just going to play the game because RPGs have that
Because
effect.
they'll tell you where to go.
Yeah,
Be like, oh, you need to make it to this town. And if you're just like, boop, 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 boop. Oh, fuck. Now I don't know where
Well,
to go.
maybe don't skip all the words that someone took all the time to write before
Yes.
there
Yeah.
was voice acting.
Please.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
Tom.
well, I'm
Sounds
just
like some baggage, Tom.
okay.
I'm just kidding.
They're my qualms. So I mean, for me, it's like that's just the kind of thing with RPGs. You can go through the entire game without ever knowing the story because sometimes they don't integrate the story within the gameplay. They have to break it up in cutscenes. So I mean, like for better or for worse, it's like, but it's like convoluted in the sense. I mean, like there's just so much going on that you don't know which backstory to really care about. Obviously, they're really throwing you in with the main through line of like the live stream and
The
Mako
main
and all
plot
that
or
stuff.
whatever. Yeah.
Which is like fine, but it's kind of like, but I want to kind of explore this, and I don't know what the fuck.
I mean, I think you're wrong, but I mean,
That's fine.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying, like, it created a trend
It's a
for
lot
everything.
to take in the
It's-
first time, and
Yeah.
especially if you're a younger person playing through it like I was, a lot of it just goes over your head.
Well, to me, it's
So-
also kind of like I think that's why there's such a huge pull for like remakes, so they can expand the story
Right.
and stuff like that. And that's why like they made side stories because it's like it's huge. There's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
in there. And I say that for better and for worse.
Mhm.
Like for better because it's like fuck yeah, I want something super rich, but sometimes like which story am I supposed to pay attention to?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I
fair.
dig it.
Well, that's it.
I would say Gush, but we've kind of done
Well,
that for
Josh,
an hour.
Josh doesn't have any
Josh
qualms.
I would
Ollie,
assume
Did you say
no.
anything?
Did you say
I don't have any. No.
You don't have any?
No.
What?
I mean, this is kind of what I've
Ooh.
kind of said in other media things. I just never got, even when I was a kid and hormonal, Tifa's
Outfit.
outfit. Like I just
This is the white
Even I'd
tee-
be like, oh man, she is so sexy, but
This is the white T-shirt and short shorts.
It was
right?
It was a product of the time, I think.
Yeah, I think because in
Yeah.
Advent Children they really updated that.
Yeah.
Because in Advent Children she's just wearing a black leather dress, which is really dope. It's not like super cleavagey. It's just like a tank
Yeah.
top thing with
Mhm.
like a high neck too, which I'm like, she looks just as badass and just as
Yeah.
hot.
I mean, but otherwise
It's kind of reminiscent of Cowboy Bebop a little bit.
A little
Yeah.
bit, yeah.
say I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Calling
Yeah.
I don't really. That would be one thing that I'd be like, it's but I don't have her in my party, so I don't care.
Do we want to talk about Advent Children at all? We talked about it a little bit in the beginning.
I've not even seen it.
Oh.
No,
So that we
good.
could save
we could
that for
do a whole nother
day.
episode about that.
Yeah.
It'd be great, actually.
Okay.
I've
I'd be
heard
down
it's
for
bad,
that.
So
Yeah.
We'd love to hear your guys' favorite parts, thoughts, your about your playthroughs, your first time. Send it all to us. We'd love to
Yes,
read it all.
please.
Do
On the
we-
social medias.
Slip inside of them DMs.
We're not rating. Rate his childhood.
No.
Have we rated games? I
Destiny.
feel like that was movies.
we rate Destiny?
We didn't. Corey didn't rate it because he said it's not finished.
I don't think.
That sounds like me.
I remember that.
I give it a 5.
What a dick move.
I mean, yeah, I'd say it's a 5.
This will be the second video game episode we've ever done.
yeah,
5.
I'd say a 5.
I'd say a 5.
5.
I'm the grump.
4.9.
We all went.
You're
It's
the
a-
last one,
with
so I
any-
guess it's the lowest.
With any issues, I think again it surpasses all the issues.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a greater than the sum of its parts. It's
I wouldn't change it.
a masterpiece for what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and for the time and all
But
that
thank you
business.
guys. I feel complete.
I feel
Yeah.
complete.
Pretty complete
Yeah.
right now.
Remember? Oh, see, in Advent Children, I loved how that was one of the ringtones.
Was it? Oh yeah,
It
that's
was
right.
a ringtone.
That's right.
It was so cool. I was like, oh my god,
Can I
like this just went
So
meta.
meta.
one more favorite?
Yeah, Josh, do it. You're freaking out. Do it.
Favorite song? Is it
Sephiroth.
Sephiroth?
One
Yeah,
Winged Angel.
Sephiroth.
One
Um,
Winged Angel.
Jonathan.
The fucking boss song.
Oh.
For some reason, every
you know
time
what it
that
reminds
plays,
me
I'm
of?
like,
No, it does not, Corey.
One part that you'll hear me do still to this day
Yeah.
is when an enemy dies.
yeah.
And then
It sounds so good.
when a boss dies,
Bigger explosion. Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
like
wow.
That
It
is
reminds
such
me. It
a
reminds
90s
me of
big
like
little red
Turtles in Time. I don't know if
Yeah.
you ever played that. When you beat the boss, you'd be like,
yeah.
That
and
sounds
then
like.
everything would turn all white, and then it would.
Especially
Like,
since you heard it like 15,000 times.
Yeah,
And the-
but also it's
Yeah.
just like very of its time. That's like Star Fox, when you kill you leave a planet or something like
Yeah.
that. But like
I guess it should be grateful.
song, I think the main I think I love the main theme.
Yeah.
Like I remember
Falco.
when I was learning how to play piano, like
Oh man.
fucking Dearly Beloved on Kingdom Hearts, and then that song were the two songs I like. Those are my hit list. Those are the songs I try
Nice.
to play. So like I listen to that shit all the time. I really that song and the movements in it are really
Yeah.
great. The
Caleb,
main theme.
song.
What is that from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we're on the same page there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a
I
good
just had to
question.
get that. Now I'm complete.
Oh, I'm complete.
Complete.
I completed all over.
Yeah. You can.
Yeah.
It's wet everywhere.
Thank you guys
Tom.
for listening.
Yeah.
do that.
Not listening to
You
Tom.
can learn more about
Yeah.
the show over on our website,
Slip and slide.
nerdon.tv.
Nerdon.tv.
Subscribe on iTunes. Leave us a review if you so desire.
We love reading them reviews.
Yeah, we do.
It means
We're
a lot to
also
us.
on Instagram, Twitter,
Yeah.
Twitch.
Yeah.
Twitch.
Follow
Every day except Sundays on Twitch.
Oh yeah.
And of course, YouTube. Head on over to youtube.com/nerdontv.
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
New home
importantly,
there.
on
Hopefully, you will
Instagram.
find your way over. Hit
Slip
that
and
sub
slide.
button.
Yeah.
Slip it. Yeah.
Slip and slide.
Tom
Let us-
just
What
like
Tom
this
says.
whole thing. We're trying to walk over what he's saying, and he just really wants to say, "Tom, I'll allow you to say it."
Just slip and slide in my DMs, please.
Oh,
Just
his.
your
No.
DMs.
No.
Okay.
No.
Or in the Nerd On one, but just at me. You
Thanks
can add
again
me.
to our patrons.
Thanks
Yeah.
again
Of course.
to our listeners. Like we make this show, but it's only possible because of all of it.
People listen to us.
Yeah.
So
Thank you
thank you.
guys for listening to our words that come from our mouths at least once a week.
Our mouth holes.
Our
Our
mouth
mouth
holes.
holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a
thanks-
bunch of
thanks.
skin flapping and whistling.
And on that, as always, nerd on.
Ending broadcast.